This week, I've been driving the 2023 Volkswagen Tiguan R-Line. Let's take a look at it. So starting off as usual with the front end of the Tiguan. And Volkswagen has always done a great job with their front ends. They've always done a great job of making it sporty. We have very nice daytime running LEDs where you just get that one strip, but it's effective and adds to the look. Then we have the main headlight just above that. Very nice. Some fake vents. Since this is the R-Line, you do get a lot of blacked out stuff. There's just a little bit of chrome on that front. Iconic Volkswagen logo that we all know and love, and some nice blacked out rims as well. So under the hood this year for the Tiguan, we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that does 184 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque with an 8-speed automatic transmission. If you're into the towing stuff, it has a 1,500 max towing capacity. Not bad at all. So now let's move on to the side of the Tiguan, which is very nice. You can see there's no chrome here at all, besides just a little bit right next to that R badging, which is right here. It doesn't light up at night. I wish it did. Nice turn signals here for the mirrors. And then we have some nice rims that are, of course, blacked out. This is the configuration that I would buy it in. Probably the color that I would buy it in too. Very, very nice. And I like the sporty look from the side here. Taking a look quickly at the back, we have some nice Volkswagen Tiguan logoing there, the 4Motion, because this is the all-wheel drive version. And then, unfortunately, we have some fake vents that they made no attempt to make real. This is fake as it gets. There's not even chrome around it to make it look like it's doing something. And I mean, it doesn't matter because this isn't really like a sports crazy SUV. It looks sporty, but that's about as far as it goes. Last but not least, let's open the trunk. It is not automatic. That kind of sucks for the price point. There's nothing to close it. You have to do that all yourself, but we do have so much room inside here. There's no air suspension, so it doesn't lower or higher or anything. It's very, very basic, very simple, but nice grocery hooks. And if you fold those seats down, it's gonna be no problem as well. We can also grab this handle here and place it like so. And then you have a nice little privacy screen for, you know, hiding your stuff so people can't look in your trunk when you're not there. So very good. I do like all those features as well. So with that being said, let's hop in the interior and take a look at that. Okay, so as usual, let's hop in the back of this Volkswagen. You can see the door here. It's very nice with that. Immediately we're greeted with this very nice interior color here, and I absolutely love that. As soon as I hop in here, I have so much legroom, and this is my driver profile. I'm about 5'11". I've got a bunch of headroom and an excellent view of that panoramic sunroof that they offer on this trim, which is very nice. Then moving on down here, we have some vents that, you know, you can't control your climate back here, but you are close enough to the front here where these vents are very, very effective, and I am feeling the cold air. It's a hot one out today, so I'm glad that that's back here. Again, it's really not a boring interior. Very comfortable seats too. I kind of like the way it kind of indents in to hold your body just a little bit. And we have this thing that folds down here for your cup holders. Overall, it's very, very effective, but there isn't much going on back here. There's no heated seats. There's no ventilated seats. In this price point, would I like to see it? Yes, but I'll take not having it. So let's hop up front right there and let's see what's got up there. Okay, so there wasn't too much special going on in the rear. Let's hop up in the front as it beeps at me because the engine is on. Let me hop in here to this driver's seat that is very, very comfortable. I'll talk about overall comfort when I actually do drive the car. We're greeted by this Volkswagen steering wheel with the new logo, which I'm sure you're used to seeing, and also with this R thing. Looks very, very similar to the Golf R steering wheel. First thing you notice is we do have these, these haptic feedback touch things that I never liked because they're just not that great looking. And yeah, but we do have a button here for heated steering, so that's great. And then we have an all digital gauge cluster here where you can change the view. I really like the customization that you get in Volkswagen's vehicles. They've always been very, very good at that part. Moving over to the left-hand side, there's a bunch of empty space here. Not much going on here where you just have a knob to change, what lighting mode you're on. And then we have some, we don't have any memory foam. We have this nice, almost it looks like carbon fiber, but it's not really. And then a nice ambient lighting strip right there. There is no memory seat in this one, but I'm okay with that. A nice dead pedal that you can see on my foot right there. And there's some nice aluminum pedals right there. You can see right through the steering wheel. Very, very nice. So let's move over now to the infotainment screen where, you have a bunch of stuff that you're used to seeing from Volkswagen. If you've seen any of the videos that I've done on Volkswagen, it's pretty much the same thing where you have some climate control settings here. You can't control the rear climate control. It's all controlled from up here. but it's okay. Dual zone automatic climate control. We have a bunch of assist settings, and then I can click on the car and I can see, you know, this is where you're going to customize your digital cockpit to see what you actually have in there, which is nice. You can also do some different vehicle settings, which is, it's actually very, very in-depth, where you can change the ambient lighting, stuff like that, which I love. It also comes, of course, with wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. I use the wire just because it's easier for what I use it for. What's interesting is that this infotainment just comes with a navigation screen, and it's not built in. It's just not there. You'll mind all my fingerprints. Every time I touch it, it gets like this. So, but to do this video, we have to. But yeah, so it isn't built in. There is an icon for it, but if you have the R-Line Tiguan, it doesn't work, just so you know that. Moving lower, well, I remember complaining in the Golf R that we didn't have any physical controls for the HVAC. Now we do. The only thing is it's still gloss black. So they kind of did it half right. I would have preferred physical buttons. I'm sure a lot of people would, but this is effective. Dual zone automatic climate control, heated seats for the passenger. There is no heated seats in the rear, like I mentioned. There's also no ventilated seats up here, which is a little disappointing. For me, it doesn't really matter that much because I don't use ventilated seats that much anyway. It makes me feel like I've wet myself, and I'm just not a fan of it, so I don't use it very much. But moving on lower, I do have a wireless charging pad that grips enough. Only USB-C. We've seen this from Volkswagen. They don't care about your USB-A. You better upgrade, or you're not getting your wired Apple CarPlay if that's what you want to use. Stop button here, park brake here. There's a lot of empty space here. You know, this is where you're going to control your parking sensors. But besides that, there's a lot of empty buttons, which doesn't look too good like that. But you know what? I'm not really looking down there, so I don't mind. I really do like these shifters, though. It tells you what gear you're on right on top, which I love that. And a physical gear mode selector, which we'll talk about all of those drive modes when I take it for a drive. Little cup holder, a little bit of storage here for my different kinds of stuff. And then we're left with, now, last but not least, these very, very nice seats that I love. I'll talk about how comfortable they are when we drive. Speaking of driving, let me put that GoPro on, and let's take this thing for a spin. Okay, here we are in the 2023 Volkswagen Tiguan on the road. Overall, been a very comfortable week. I really do like how these seats are kind of sporty, not like so cushiony either, where you're not like in the super luxurious category, because this is kind of like a mid-level SUV, and it is second from the top in terms of trim. So in those regards, it has performed exactly as I'd expect. Now, I mentioned I'd tell you about drive mode, so let's first talk about the, you have your normal eco, normal, and sport mode. I'll pop it into sport mode so that I could show you how the car reacts to it. Now, this car doesn't have that much horsepower. It's got a little bit less than 200, which, for some people might be a little bit sucky, but I could push the brakes here, and then we'll go for a quick rip with the Volkswagen Tiguan. Let's go all the way down. Yeah, let's go, buddy. Come on. Yep, I can hear a little bit of that turbo spooling. Yes, sir. So, again, it's not that fast, it really isn't, but like, it's got a lot of torque at the beginning, and that's what's really fun about it. The torque kind of gets you going, and just normal city driving, you're not going to put your foot to the floor like I just did. It's going to be a very rare occasion that you do that. So when you do have to do it, or you do want to do it, it is there, and it is fun. This car is very well tuned to drive. So let's talk about the other, modes. I have a winter mode, a off-road mode, and like a mud mode. Like I can change it on the fly here. Off-road, and then off-road custom, which you can adjust, off-road normal, and then obviously my normal selection. So obviously the custom mode you can adjust. Obviously you can't do that when you're driving, but you can adjust things like how the drivetrain is, how the suspension is, how the steering is. So you can basically have maybe a sporty feel without having the aggressive shifting and stuff like that. So I do like that Volkswagen includes that. We saw it on the R, we saw it on the Jetta, and I like that. So even if I throw it in, I'm in my custom mode here, which kind of stiffens up my suspension a little bit. And yeah, I could throw it in this fast corner here, a little bit of body roll, but the acceleration's there. It's nice and gradual. It's not going to rip your head off, and I really do like how sporty it does feel. Volkswagen has lately, in all three cars that I've driven of them so far, this being the first SUV, the tuning with the steering and the suspension has been really impressive. You usually get more than what you bargain for, and that's a plus for it. This does have things like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, not lane centering, so it'll kind of just keep you in your lane, and you'll get it'll turn yellow in my dash, if I go outside of the lane and kind of correct it if needed. The adaptive cruise control works very well, keeps the speed well, and then keeps the distance between cars exactly like you'd expect, and it's convenient. I like the feel of the steering wheel a lot. I've said this, I'm pretty sure in all three Volkswagens, it's up there with one of the top steering wheel feels. Steering wheel feel to me is very important, and I hope it's important to you too. It's just very, it feels very nice with this two-tone leather, kind of different textures. I really do like it. Throw it up this hill here, see how it goes. Yeah, you can kind of hear the engine has to kick in a little bit more. There might be a little bit of pumped in audio because the exhaust doesn't sound that great. It is fake exhaust out in the back anyway, so it's pointless to even look at it or care about what kind of sound it is. I don't really think you're buying that for, you're buying the car for that feature and like crazy exhaust sounds, but it is pumped in if you want it. So let's talk a little bit about the fuel economy. I've been doing a lot of city driving. My commute is mostly city, so I've been getting around the 9.1 range per 100 kilometers, which is pretty good. It's as I expected, because when I'm driving an eco, obviously it's a bit better, and then the more highway you do, the better economy you're gonna get. But it has been good. Eco mode, and then when I want to throw it around a little bit, I'll throw it into the custom mode, which I have kind of the suspension feel a bit sporty, but it's still in standard. The transmission and drivetrain are still in standard when I do my custom mode. So that's great. You can kind of get that sport feel without actually having to, spend more fuel actually pushing the pedal, which I like. It's just it's got very good pickup. Like the initial pickup from, I say, like 0 to 50, 60 kilometers, it does pull just a little bit. Obviously it's nowhere near where the Golf R was, but I like how it kind of like, it has that element because it is the R line, and I like how Volkswagen have kind of worked in there are elements into it with kind of the sporty, more SUV. I do really like it. It's actually grown on me. I wasn't sure how I felt about it right when I stepped in it, but then as I've been driving and as I've been looking at the design, yeah, it's really grown on me. I really do like it, and for the price, you really can't argue with it nowadays. Let's do some final thoughts for the Volkswagen Tiguan. Overall, if you're in the market or you already own one, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. I really do think you're gonna enjoy it over the long term. I could see myself driving this, especially if you have a family, a little bit more storage needs. The trunk space here is really, really good. The interior design is good too. I do wish that, they at least added heated seats in the back, would have been nice, and maybe a climate control too, because the competition is doing it. And I said this in my last video, if the competition is, you should probably do it too, just to kind of keep in line with things. But with the price point, I really can't complain about it. With about a 45K range that this car is, it's hard to complain when things are missing, because you are getting quite a bit of tech, quite a bit of nice driving quality, and quite a bit of vehicle for that price, which in today's market I'm not really used to seeing. So I'm glad that they've kind of tried to keep costs low with this car while still giving it a nice different looking interior. It's kind of been the trend lately where we've been seeing different interiors, but they still gave it a great interior. They gave it a great feel. It's got a good drivetrain in it. Volkswagen has, their tuning has just been so superb lately. I've driven 2 cars with them, this being the third, and hopefully another one coming up here in May, that they've just got their tuning right. I just feel so confident in it, and I really do like it. The 4-wheel drive in the winter will help you as well. It's just a very good all-around SUV, and that's what you're looking for. It's something affordable. It's not going to give you as many features as maybe a Kia or Hyundai, but maybe on the reliability it could be a little bit better. I wish I could speak to that, but unfortunately I can't. But overall, I think that's going to do it. Been a great week with the Volkswagen Tiguan. Let me know what you think. Are you in the market for a Tiguan? Do you think they're garbage? Do you like the drivetrain? Do you already own one? And if there's anything that I missed, be sure to tell me. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm always in the comments. I try to get back to everyone as soon as I can about any questions that you may have. And my whole goal with this is to just help you make that great buying decision, because I am fortunate enough to drive all these vehicles, but I do it so that I could help other people make the decision, because it is a big and maybe sometimes difficult decision. So hopefully I've been able to help you. And if I have, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and let me know what you think of the video. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. We'll see you in the next review. Take care.